Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, I'm going to show you how to make Disney autograph ornaments. Now there's going to be a lot of you out there that are saying, what the heck is a Disney autograph ornament? Guys, if you've ever been to Disney or are planning on going to Disney, one of the things that a lot of the people that visit love to do when they're at the resort is to get the characters there to give them autographs. And the general thing to do is to have an autograph book and they sign it in there. And the interesting thing is that across whatever park you go to, doesn't matter where the Disney is located, if it's in California, Florida, it doesn't matter. All of the people that are dressed in those costumes, they are trained exactly the same way to sign the autographs exactly the same way so that the autographs will always match no matter where you go. Just a little fun fact there for you. But a lot of people take this autograph book. But what if you wanted to do a bit of a twist and do something different? And that's what my granddaughter did recently. Instead of taking an autograph book, she took wooden laser cut ornaments and had the characters sign the ornaments. Then on the back, of course, I engraved the character's photo and she turned them into a really nice Christmas garland. Now I can't show you the garland because, of course, Disney is very tight on protecting their image and their logos. And, you know, why wouldn't they be? So we're not going to show you how to do that on the show, but I am going to show you a tutorial of how to do the actual ornaments on Lightburn and cut your own. And I'll show you how you can get images of the characters and burn your own onto the back of these ornaments. So let's head over to the bench, fire up the Lightburn on the computer, and I'm going to show you how to start this off. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fire up Lightburn here. And guys, we want to make our ornament. It is a circular ornament, so we will come over here and click on the circle and we'll just draw it out. Now it's pretty hard to get it perfect unless your parameters were already locked. So what we're going to do for my circle, we're going to make this 95 millimeters by 95 millimeters, just like that. And once we get that, we're going to lock it. Now guys, we're going to change this layer here to the black layer. This will be our cutting layer. But we don't just want the circle. The circle is part of the ornament, but it's not all of the ornament. We need our top section. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a square at the top. And this will be the top of our ornament, little decorative piece there. I think we can move that up just a little bit. Yeah, and we will make it just a little longer. I'm not sure of the actual dimensions. We're going to figure that out in just a minute. Looks like 25 wide, and it really doesn't matter here about the length or the depth. So we're going to change it anyway. We're going to make it, say, 18. We're going to make it 18. Looks good. Just like that. And then we will lock that in. Now guys, that 25 width measurement and the 18 height, you'll want to remember that. But the first thing that we want to do is we're going to highlight all of this. And as I've said before in other tutorials, if you drag from right to left, even if you don't incorporate the whole image, anything that green square touches, it's going to include in what you're doing here. So we're going to, from left to right, we're going to align it center. There we go, just like that. Now that square is perfectly centered. And again, dragging from right to left, we want to incorporate these together and make them one shape. So we're going to come into here and we're going to use Boolean union. And when we click that, there, you can see there we have now created this Christmas ornament shape. So we now need to work on our decorative piece. Before we want to do that though, what we can do is we can click on this and we can go to our cut layers and we can change this. We know that this is going to be a cutout. So with a 20-watt laser, we're going to be using 1/8 inch thick plywood. I find that a speed of 5 millimeters and a power of 80 does a really nice job with one pass of cutting very cleanly. So there you go. We're going to leave that as is at 5 millimeters per second and 80% power. Well, now we need to make our overlay piece. If you remember our measurements there, we're going to do another square. And our square, just like this, if you remember, our top measurement was 25. And our bottom one, we'll just unlock this here, our bottom one was 17. But now what we want is we want kind of a scalloped edge here along the bottom. So I am going to do basically very similar to what we've done over here. We need to make the scalloped edges, and we will do that by just adding circles. So we're going to make a circle here. It doesn't matter the size, it's going to be small. Let's say, because this is 25, let's say that we're going to make the width 10. We'll have to make the height the same, otherwise it's not a circle, is it? And we will lock that in place. Guys, at this point, I want to duplicate this 2 more times. We're going to highlight our piece, right click on it, and duplicate it. And then we can move that aside. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to highlight and duplicate. Now this is the easy part. If we take one of our circles and bring it up here, just like this, and then bring our other 2 circles up, bring one up here, and then our other one up, giving us enough room to work. And then we drag, just like I've shown you, from right to left, just enough to incorporate those 2 items. We're going to align them, align on the right. And once we get this aligned to the right, we're going to group those 2 together so that they will stay as one. There we go, group it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the next circle, this one in the middle, and we're going to align this vertical center, just like that. And then as well, we're going to arrange and group. Then we're going to take all of these again, and just like we have, we're going to align it, but this one we're going to align on the vertical left. There we go. And now all of these are set in place, but these look a little bit wonky. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of this. We're going to ungroup them now so that they can all individually be controlled. We're going to highlight just these 3 circles, and we are going to align them horizontal center. So if we highlight all 3 of them here, and again go into tools, we can weld these shapes together. There we go. See that? Now we have these kind of cool shapes. And then we can bring it back up into our piece, just like that. We want to make sure that they're aligned before we weld them. So we will highlight everything, and just like we did before over here, we're going to go vertical center, make sure that they're aligned, and then we're going to go in tools again, Boolean union, and look at that. There is our next piece. So this is our overlay. And if we highlight these, we can get an idea of how it's going to look, because we can align it vertical center, and then we can come over here and align it to the top. And this is what our cut ornament is going to look like. But these are 2 separate pieces, guys. So we also need 2 of these add-ons. So it's very easy just to right click on it, duplicate it, and then we'll take it and drag it over here. Now you want to utilize your space here as efficiently as what you can. So we're going to try to drag this in nice and close so that we're not wasting material. We would like these pieces to be cut from scrap. And it looks like we're going to be able to do it pretty good right there. All right, so at this point now you can save your file, and this is your ornament. We can, if we want, add the hole for the ribbon now as well. So how big of a hole do we want? Well, let's see here. So we'll go 5 and 5. And then we'll lock that in place. We're going to duplicate that circle. Duplicate. We're going to bring one to this section. These ones here are easy to do because all we need to do, guys, is highlight just like this, and we'll do our alignment just like before. Align vertical center and align horizontal center, and then we can group this as one piece, just like that. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We can align vertical center and align horizontal center and group this piece, and then they are the same as well. But now watch this. We highlighted our top right and our ornament, and we're going to align those pieces. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click on just our center part and ungroup it. Once we get it ungrouped, we're going to click on our circle, right click on it, and duplicate it. And from there, we can take away our ornament section and take away one of our circles. And now by aligning, or by grouping rather, these pieces, that now is perfectly aligned, and all we need to do is realign these ones. We know that we did it vertical center and horizontal center, just like that, and then we can group them. So arrange and group. All right, so let's get one of these cut now and see how we make out. And those are the pieces of our ornaments. So what do we do with these? Well, let's head over to the bench and I'll show you. And by applying a little bit of glue on both of your top trim pieces and then aligning your edges and your top to glue them together here, just like this, this is what you end up with. Just this adorable little ornament, perfectly circular, perfectly cut. It looks amazing. And then you just get your characters at the parks to autograph here on the ornament face. Guys, it's a fantastic souvenir, but what about actually doing the engravings of the characters on the back? Well, I'm going to show you how to do that with Lightburn. Now guys, as I said, they are very heavily copyrighted images. So we're just going to pick a generic coloring book page, we'll say, to be able to demonstrate how to do it. So we're going to start with a new project here, and we'll clear the drawing board. And what we're going to start off with is a circle, the same as we did before, and we want to make that circle the same dimensions as our ornament. And if you remember, we did it 95 millimeters. So 95 millimeters by 95 millimeters, just like that, and we will lock that in, and we are going to make that its own layer. We're going to put it over here in layer black. We're going to go into the cuts and layers, and we're going to change it. Right now our parameters are set for cutting. We don't want that. So we're going to do 120 speed and 65% power, align just to mark it. And I'll explain this later. This is basically just a guideline right now. So what I've done is I've gone on Google and I have downloaded images of coloring pages. In my case, I just put in puppy coloring page, and I found a free coloring page and I downloaded it. So we can bring it into our project here. So right here, there is an import. We can click that. That'll bring us here to our desktop. We're going to click on the Christmas puppy I know it's not Christmas, but that's okay. And there's our image. So what I'm going to do, guys, is we're going to drag this off to the side a little bit because we need to get it away from our circle. So we'll just drag this over here. And what we can do is we can right click it and then we can trace image. And it's going to bring up a second screen. And all of this purple that's on here, this is the traced image. So if you see down here, delete image after tracing, if you have that clicked, it will eliminate the JPEG once you're done with the tracing and just leave you with the tracing. And there we go, there is the tracing. So what do we do? I chose this on purpose because of the bone. Let's say we don't want this bone in our picture. So what we want to do is we want to click on this image and we can go into arrange and ungroup the entire puppy. Now you want to be careful at this point that you're not dragging things around because you will change the picture. But where you have ungrouped it, each one of these individual sections now is its own entity. So we can click on the bone. See, that just got rid of a portion of it. So if we drag from right to left, being careful not to touch any section of the puppy, we can click delete and get rid of that bone. And once we have the puppy now the way we want, we can just highlight the whole puppy like this, go back up to arrange, click group, and the puppy is now one piece. And we can click the screen to see what it's going to engrave like. But we don't want it to engrave like this. This doesn't look right. So we're going to put the puppy in its own layer. We'll bring it down here, make it the blue layer, and by clicking on that blue layer, again, we're going to change the parameters here. I think we're going to go with 100 speed and 75 power. We do not want line. We want fill. Just like that. And click. And now if we click the screen to show us what it burns like, that's a much nicer image. Now guys, if you had the image of one of the characters that signed the ornament, you can do this exact same thing. Get a coloring page and you get this kind of an image. But now we need to size it. So we want to make sure that we're locked over here so that we keep the same proportions. And we can just drag that image until it fits within our 95 by 95 circle. And we can drag it over. And at this point, you can fine tune it if you want. So there you go, just like that. Done. And guys, that is how you add a character to the back of the ornament. So what you want to do is you want to place some kind of scrap board and secure it in your laser. And you want to shut off the layer of the puppy, and you can do that over here. You know it's the blue layer, so you can just turn off the output. You can say it just got grayed out. At this point, guys, what you can do is on your scrap wood, you can burn just that circle. And because the circle is the same size as our ornament, it shows you exactly where to place your ornament so that when you burn the puppy, it's centered or looks exactly like what you've got on the screen. So once you get that circle burned on the scrap wood, you can then come back into Lightburn, make sure that you do not move that piece of wood or scrap or whatever it is that you've got in your laser. And at this point, you want to turn the puppy output back on and turn off the circle. From there, you can line up your ornament in that black circle that you have engraved onto your scrap, and then you can just carry on and laser engrave your puppy. That's all there is to it, guys. And then you've got your ornament finished. And I mean, it doesn't get any more adorable than that, does it? That's amazing. So can you imagine now? We got a little bit of scorching there, but that's okay. I may have had the speed a little too slow or the power a little too high. You can adjust that, or you can give this a light sanding and take away that little bit of scorching. Can't imagine what there would be without the air assist. But the last thing to do is I have a little piece of ribbon here. It's about 12 inches long. We'll just place it through the holes, line up our ends, make sure that they're not twisted. There we go. And just tie a little knot in the end, and there you have it. Look at that. There is your autograph ornaments to take to the park with you. Spectacular. And there you have it. Making Disney autograph ornaments on the Lightburn program and then cutting them with your laser engraver. As a bonus, of course, the tutorial of how to get the coloring pages of the characters onto the ornament after they're signed. Guys, this is a great alternative to the autograph books that a lot of people normally do at the parks. And it doesn't matter if you're going in August or September or February or whatever it is. That is your opportunity at that point to get the ornaments signed. It doesn't matter what time of the year you go. Get the ornaments signed, and then when you bring them home, you have them ready for Christmas. And whether you turn them into some kind of garland the way my daughter did, or whether you put them on a child's Christmas tree, really doesn't matter. Heck, you could even hang them up around their room as their decorations. They are a one-of-a-kind, irreplaceable, customizable souvenir from the park. No one else in the world will have one like it. You will have your custom cut ornaments, custom size. The measurements I gave you today are not written in stone. You can make them whatever size you like. But the signed ornaments for starters, and then choosing whatever image you want and placing it on the back side. Being able to do that really makes this such a custom project. It makes it so special. And it is something that that child will cherish for the rest of their lives. They will be an adult and still love their ornament signatures that they got, because they know they can never be replaced. They can never be duplicated by anybody else. They are exactly theirs. They're one of a kind. There's no one else that's going to have one exactly like that. But it's a great thing to think about. And with this tutorial, hopefully you can get it done for yourself. By taking that one pattern that we did of the ornament and the two trim pieces and grouping them, or doing an array of, say, 3 across on the x-axis and 3 on the y-axis, you can, on one sheet, have it cut out 9 ornaments at a pop. Now, when my granddaughter went, she took 18 ornaments, and it turned out to not quite be enough. There were some characters that had to double up on ornaments. So you may want to consider more, but so 2 sheets of 12 by 12, 1/8 thick plywood, you could end up with 18 ornaments. Do a 3rd sheet, and you've got plenty. Guys, it's a dirt cheap way to create a priceless memory and a priceless little heirloom souvenir for your little ones that are going to Disney for their first time, their last time, their 10th time. Doesn't matter. It's a great way to create memories. It's a great little project. It's a fantastic idea. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in this week. We've been going with the laser tutorials on Tuesdays lately, and that's okay. We're having a lot of fun. I've been playing around with this longer Ray of 5 20-watt laser, and I've got to tell you, I really like it. So it gives me an opportunity to play with the laser. It also gives me an opportunity to help you guys who are learning your laser to try different things and learn different techniques. So if there's a tutorial that you want to see as far as the laser goes, or Lightburn, please drop me a message and I'll see what I can do for you. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We have a great audience base, guys, and I really hope that you're going to consider becoming a part of that. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I hope you're going to give this one a try for yourself if you have a laser engraver in your house and you're using Lightburn. But more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.